Hi, my name is Ido, and today I want to talk about running your very first D&D session. I've seen a lot of questions in forums and social media. People who want to run a Dungeons and Dragons game or adventure ask for advice: how to do it, how should they prepare, and how to go about this whole dungeon mastering thing. So today I want to give 5 tips for anyone who wants to run a D&D session for the first time. So the first tip I have is run a pre-made adventure. The reason is simple. If you pick up, for example, D&D 5th edition starter set, you basically get a pre-made adventure ready with story, NPCs, encounters, maps, everything you need to run a D&D session. And using a pre-made adventure really keeps you focused on running the game, running the show, and making sure everyone have fun. So simply by using a pre-made adventure instead of making up one makes your life a lot easier, and I really recommend that for new dungeon masters. Also, in this specific adventure you get all kinds of dungeon master tips. This adventure, the adventure that is contained within the starter set, is actually designed for new dungeon masters. So it contains a lot of advice that might help you to tackle a specific encounter, a specific situation. It has advice on how to run NPCs, how they will react if the players say this or that. So a lot of good advice. Also, the fact that you have the entire adventure mapped out for you, so you can read it end to end, get the whole picture in mind, and then you can run it to your players, actually puts you in a safe zone. You know the whole picture, you know what's going on, you know the story. So it's all about revealing details for your player and not worrying about, oh my god, they will do this, they will do that, they will head west instead of east, and I don't have west prepared. These have west and east prepared, so you're pretty much good with this set. Or pick another pre-made adventure, read it, internalize it, and have fun with it. So tip number 1. The second tip I have is this: use pre-made characters. Now the idea is very similar to the first tip that I just gave. Using pre-made characters simply makes your life a lot easier. You have the characters ready, you know exactly what their abilities are, you know all the features that they have, and again, it keeps you in a safe zone. It's a lot easier than allowing the players create any character they want. They might come up with variants you are not familiar with, or with character concepts that are too alien to your first pre-made adventure. So if you want to go on the safe side, hand them the pre-made characters. You have pre-made characters here, but you also have those on a Wizard of the Coast site, so you can just download them and print them out and hand them to your players. Now, if your players will object, just tell them it's your first time as a DM, you're trying it out, and using these characters will help you get into dungeon mastering. So just tell them it's a first time. If everything will go well, then for the next adventure they can come up with any character concept they want. So pre-made adventure and pre-made characters. Now the third tip is about rules. This is the Dungeon Master guide, and look how thick it is. It's a big book, and taking into consideration that we also have the player's handbook and the monster manual, that's a lot of material to internalize. And a lot of new DMs, new dungeon masters, think they should read and memorize all the rules before running a game, and I don't think this is the case. I don't think they should do it. You should be familiar with the concept of the game, right? Rolling a dice, creating a character, or what to do in very basic situations like using skills or combat situations, but you don't have to know all the rules. What I do when I prepare for a session is I read the adventure or the let's say the encounters that I have planned, and I go and read the rules that are relevant only to those encounters or adventure. For example, if I'm running the adventure in this model, in this box, there are a lot of rules that simply you don't need, right? So, for example, if this adventure doesn't have any undead creatures in it, you don't have to learn or memorize or internalize all the rules concerning turning undead or summoning undead or controlling undead. It simply isn't relevant. So if you use the first tips that I gave you, the pre-made adventure and the pre-made characters, you already know what are the rules you are going to need. So just review those. If the players are about to encounter goblins, read the rules about goblins and about fights. Read the statistics for a goblin. Read the combat rules, the very basics one. You don't need to learn aerial combat for this encounter, right? If the characters are about to go into a dark cave in this adventure, then read the rules about lighting and sound and how should they spot things when they enter. So only focus on the rules that you really need to run the game. Don't try to digest all of this. It simply won't work. So the fourth tip. This is something I actually took from Chris Perkins. If you don't know who it is, look him up at YouTube. Just type in Chris Perkins D&D. You're in for a treat. He devised this method of writing a cheat sheet for a D&D session. Basically, a one A4 page of this size that summarizes the session. He talks about running a very short recap. For example, your characters were hired to escort a caravan to that city. As simple as that. A short list of the player characters, so you will have it in front of you, their name, race, and class if you want, followed by a list of the non-player characters that the characters will meet this session. And it's usually not a very long list, something like 3 to 6 NPC names. Then this page contains a list of events that you think might come into being in this session, usually ordered by their time of occurrence. For example, the characters will walk the road and see dead horses belonging to their employer. Then they will investigate and locate a goblin cave nearby. Then at the cave they will locate a prisoner and save him. And then they will arrive the city and talk to the mayor. This is a very basic way to summarize the adventure for you and make sure you don't miss anything important and just that you have this flow of events in your head. It all should go into this size of a page, so very small blocks. It's just basically a skeleton of the session, and it will help you focus on what you should run and how should you run it. All the information is actually in the pre-made adventure, but just for the session, summarize it in very brief sentences. The last tip that I've got for you is this, and this is something that I try to do before every session that I run. I run this small exercise called What If. And it's basically after I've read the material in the adventure, I've prepared a cheat sheet for the adventure. I just run what if scenarios, looking at each of the summaries that I've written. For example, if I've written that the characters walk on the road and they find dead horses belonging to their employee, I just run a what if question. For example, what if the characters ignore the horses and continue? Or what if the characters check the horses? What if the characters split? 3 of the group go and investigate the horses and the other 3 head on. So simple what if questions might help clarify problematic areas in the adventure, or just just so you'll be prepared for anything weird that players might do. Now, I don't usually write down those what if and what if solutions, let's call them that way. I just think about it and prepare a mental note about what if the characters decide to ignore the horses and continue. Nothing. They'll just reach to the town and find out that their employer never made it there. What if they split? Well, the group that are investigating the horses will find some evidence of what happened to their employer, and the group that headed town again will hear that the character's employee never made it. So simple what if scenario to make sure that you don't have any big holes in your plot or in your combat or in your story development. So these are my 5 tips. Use pre-made adventures, use pre-made characters. Make sure to read and reference the rules that you actually need for the adventure and the session. Don't memorize anything. Create a cheat sheet for your session and run simple what if questions just to make sure you don't have any big hole in your adventure. I hope these tips help you. If they do or don't, talk to me in the comment. You can subscribe to my channel. You can see me run adventures for my groups. I'll post more DM advice videos like this. I have some in Hebrew, but I'll try to post some in English from now on. I will view the comments, so if you have any question, request or feedback, please write them and I'll try to take them into account. And yes, stay tuned for more DM advice in my channel. So thanks and see you later.